Imagine you lived in the 1960s and witnessed the first human moon landings by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin in 1969. At the time, you and the world thought that space travel wasn't too far off, and eventually, the space tourism industry will be a dominant industry and a way to spend time with family. You could eventually see yourself in the 1990s or even 2000s, going to a space hotel and watching the view of Earth from there. While that hasn't necessarily happened yet, there is a government-funded venture ready to revolutionize space and finally bring that vision that everyone has been longing for since the 60s. And it starts with the moon. Since the Apollo moon landings of the 1960s and 70s, going back to the moon has been less and less politically motivated. Rather, returning to the moon has been scientifically motivated, and as a result of this shift in importance, less and less government funding went into the moon missions until they eventually stopped in 1972. Since then, there's been a growing interest in returning back to the moon as a stepping stone to colonizing much further objects, such as Mars, the moons of Jupiter, and even Venus. Moreover, the colony on the moon would benefit human society through the development of new technologies and even the export of crucial materials back to Earth. That's why NASA wants to get private enterprises involved in its Artemis program, its successor to the Apollo missions to bring humans back to the moon. Last year, NASA conducted the first of 3 missions to bring humans back to the moon, called Artemis 1. While Artemis 1 was an unmanned mission around the moon, Artemis 2 plans to take that one step further through a manned mission. In this mission, 4 astronauts will be on a 4-day mission around the moon, which is roughly 400,000 kilometers away from Earth. Why is NASA so addicted to the number 4? Coincidence? I think not. These 4 astronauts, which were announced a couple of days ago, will, once traveling around the moon, land in the Pacific Ocean and be transported back home. This is big news. Up till this point, all astronauts that have been to space have only went as far as the ISS, and this will be the first mission where not only astronauts are traveling further away from Earth than the ISS since 1972, but according to NASA, might also be traveling the furthest away from Earth in human history. Moreover, it will be a test of the technology that will be used in future missions by NASA to get people to the moon, and to set up the colony. Artemis 3, which will see the landing of the first people back to the moon, will also extend off the Artemis 2 mission's success. If Artemis 2 ends in failure, then it could very well end the vision so many have been dreaming about. At the very least, it will delay any future efforts to colonize the solar system due to extreme reluctance by the government. In other words, Artemis 2 must succeed. To learn more about the Artemis missions and the future of human space exploration, just click the video you see on your screen.